What's up, guys? I want to welcome you today to my physical wellness journey. Just giving a little introduction about how I got here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, right now I'm 32 years old. I feel probably better than I felt since I was 18. But this all started in 2020, around January. It was coming up on my 30th birthday. And I started to feel like, I guess it's something weird. Maybe it's something psychological about going from being in my 20s to my 30s, but I also was in the worst physical shape of my entire life. I was very overweight. I was eating horribly, and I wasn't doing anything physically strenuous. So, I was very much focused on my business. I was working insane hours. I was already living a sedentary life, like long before this, even before I was in business for myself. I was pretty much sedentary, out of shape, overweight. It got worse though, as my sleep habits became worse, as my self-care became less and less in the forefront. Like I had such a one-track mind about just focusing on the business that I really let myself go. I was 240 pounds. I always felt uncomfortable, nauseous, out of breath. Like I would walk to my car from my living room and I'd be panting. It was almost scary at that point. And shortly before COVID hit, I just decided, you know what, I want to get healthy again. I started to take some steps in the right direction. I started going for walks. I got a kettlebell and started swinging that around. And I went to the doctor and I got some blood work done. And there were certain things that they were concerned about, but really it all went back to my diet and they told me to try my best to exercise regularly, at least a few times a week. So I started there. And on my own, I made some progress. I probably lost about 20 pounds on my own, but then I started to plateau and I got stuck in a place where I was having a hard time moving forward on my own. So I took it upon myself at this point, and I realized, I was making money, I was financially successful, I was doing well in business. The one thing that I was missing was my physical health. And that was so important to me. It's the most important thing. I started to realize that, I was about to be 30 years old, and I'm looking at people that are in my family that are in their 60s, and they're still relatively healthy. They're able to get around. They don't seem old. Like they're able to go on vacation. They're able to walk. But I felt like myself, I'm barely holding it together at 30. Like I was starting to think by the time I'm 60, I'm not going to be able to keep up with the people I see in my family that are in their 60s. I don't know how they do it, because I'm out of breath just getting to my car. So this worried me, and I want to have a good quality of life for a long time. I want to be here for a long time, but I also want to feel good. I want to be able to get around. So this became very important to me. And if you're watching this in your 20s or your early 30s, think about it. Like, if you want to be healthy when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, it has to start now. You can't get that far behind and then think you're going to pick it back up. So that's a realization that I came to, and I took it seriously for the first time. I went and hired a physical trainer. I started working with them right away. And one thing I've struggled with a lot is sticking to a clean diet. And they say 80% of gains are made in the kitchen. That's why I'm standing in my kitchen doing this. 80% of gains are made in the kitchen. The other 20% are made in the gym. But, all through the last couple of years, from 2020, 2021, 2022, I've made a lot of forward progress. But the one place I have slipped up a lot is my diet. I love food. I love to eat good food. I love to go out to dinner. I love takeout. I love fast food. All that. Those are my weaknesses. Even if you take one step forward and two steps back, that's still one step forward. So I don't let myself get discouraged. I don't talk down to myself. I just keep on trying to make progress. So I've stayed with the physical trainer. I've been working hard at the gym this entire time. And I've made a lot of effort towards my diet, my nutrition, like my supplements that I take. And I could honestly say right now, for the last 30 days at least, My diet has been better than it's ever been. I feel better than I've ever felt. And I think I finally found something that just works for me. So that's what I want to share. And I've tried a lot of different things. So I've tried meal preps from all kinds of different places. I've tried just like basically cutting out carbs, and what works for me, really I was just scrolling on TikTok. And at this point I was already eating kind of healthy. Like I was already meal prepping for myself, and I was already like I'd have a couple cheat meals a week, but for the most part eating healthy. And I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see this guy, Carson Tout, and he's a D1 athlete at NAU. He plays basketball there, and he's showing off like what he eats in a day as a D1 athlete. And I was like, my first thought when seeing it was like, man, I don't know if I could eat like that. That's really strict. That seems like it's really hard to do. But I kept on seeing his stuff pop up, and after a few times I said, you know what? Forget about I'm just going to do it. Forget about can I stick to that? Who cares if I could stick to it long term? I'm going to try this out and see how it makes me feel. So I incorporated a lot of his stuff into my diet. I even joined his Discord group. And I've been really like I said, for the last month, I've been feeling so good by sticking to, and basically it's all about eating whole food. It's all about, I read the ingredients on everything that I buy now, and I see like there's no processed garbage in it. Oh, and just to backtrack for a second, this took another turn because last year, going into this year, early January of 23, I started doing this thing called Forward. I sounded like an interesting concept to me. I signed up for it, got some blood work done, and with what they came back with, it's the same stuff I've been told for a long time. I have a fatty liver. My liver enzymes were elevated, and so, on my latest blood work, what they said was literally like stay away from processed foods. And then I see this guy on TikTok, and his diet's all about not eating processed foods, not having additives in your foods. So that's what I've been doing, and I feel so good. It's like I have a routine of like for breakfast I have eggs that I cook in extra virgin olive oil. I also have an avocado with that. I have 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut with every meal, which is good for gut health. I'll put links in the description to some research on this stuff. But also I have like a bowl of fruit with local raw honey, which is good for your allergies, and it's just straight up healthy stuff for you. And it gives you like good carbohydrates to give you energy in the morning. That's something that I was lacking. I wasn't taking in enough carbs for what I need just to get through the day. And, not processed carbs that are going to be bad for my liver, but like carbs that you get from real sources. The other thing that was cool about this is, I'm like not taking protein powder anymore. I'm getting enough protein in my diet from whole foods, and I feel so much better, seriously. So I'm actually going to do a whole video on like what I eat in a day. I'll do videos of myself meal prepping. So that's what you're going to see in this playlist. That's all about my physical journey. It's going to show my workout routines. It's going to show what I'm eating on a daily basis, how I'm cooking, how I'm preparing my food, even how I'm shopping for my food, and how I'm finding stuff with good ingredients. I'm going to show my supplementation. I'm going to show all that. So if this is something that you're interested in seeing more of, subscribe. Make sure you check back in this playlist specifically, because you're going to see how my journey's going, and I'm gonna start showing my progress too. Like not only am I gonna show my workouts, but for accountability purposes, you're gonna see when I'm doing cardio, when I'm lifting, what I'm eating, and all the progress that comes with this journey. Like you're gonna be on this journey with me as it goes on. So I'm excited about this, actually putting it out there. I haven't had any real way to publicly show accountability for this, but now that I'm doing this, I'm excited to just see the growth. I'm just excited to see it happen live, publicly, so everybody can do this with me. Leave a comment if you have any specific questions. Share this with somebody who might be interested in seeing it. And like I said, subscribe and check back to see more updates. I appreciate you watching.